This man shot up this ROTC class, that's for military officers in training, and he specifically targeted these ROTC students. He actually asked somebody, is this the ROTC class, before going in and opening fire. He also shouted Allahu Akbar as he opened fire. Again, sounds like terrorism.
Absolutely, and we've seen this before. This individual, I'm sure the investigation will bear this out, was probably inspired. We don't know what he was inspired by. There's a host of maligned actors out there that he could be. ISIS obviously comes to mind with the incident that happened just a few days ago at Gracie Mansion in New York City. And then we have the incident that happened just before Halloween, if you recall. All those youthful offenders or suspects, the oldest being 21, the youngest being 16, were all inspired by ISIS, 5 of them from 3 different states, to launch a Halloween-type style ISIS attack. So we'll find out more, but this is a crazy threat environment. That's the only term I can use. My friends, I'm sure, would agree. We're looking left, right, up, and down, and the threats are coming from everywhere.
Raymond, this suspect, he first shot the teacher as he broke into the class. Then he fired on the students. And this is really incredible. The students fought back. In fact, the students, are the ones who subdued him. One of those students happened to have a knife, and the FBI said they killed him.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable to me that they were able to do this. When you look at this offender, I'm sure that people that are close to him or around him, that there was some leakage through his friends, coworkers, if he was working, or even his family members. And not that leakage is a direct threat. It's more grievance-driven rhetoric that escalates over time. And the 2 things that are really important in these type of attacks in both Michigan and Old Dominion is access and time. When they have access and time, if you can disrupt one of those 2 things, which happened in both instances today, the attack itself usually falls apart.
Yeah, but Tim, this suspect, Mohammed Jallo, this wasn't a new sort of thing. He served time in prison for planning an ISIS-inspired terrorist attack. He started serving prison time in 2017. He was a naturalized citizen who was born in Sierra Leone, but he became radicalized many, many years ago. Why wasn't he on some sort of terror watch list, given his history?
Elizabeth, that's the million-dollar question. And, especially being what he was charged with and a naturalized citizen, why wasn't he deported? I don't know why he was let out early after receiving an 11-year sentence, but why wasn't he deported? And this would have never happened. Besides a watch list, that's the million-dollar question as well.
Yeah, Donell, both these attacks mirror ICE tactics in the past, using vehicles to crash into buildings to gain entrance, using firearms to then kill. There's a pattern here, and we have now had 4 attacks of some kind, at least, since the war in Iran began. The first was that shooting in Austin, Texas, by that man wearing an Iranian flag T-shirt and shouting Allahu Akbar. Then we had this hacker group that launched a massive cyber attack on a huge maker of medical devices yesterday, saying it was in retaliation for the bombing of that all-girls school in Iran. And now these 2 attacks today, one by a man who'd been radicalized by ISIS, the other on a prominent Jewish school and synagogue. Are we going to be seeing more of these as the war continues?
Yeah, I hate to pile on that, but once again, we mentioned the Mamdani case, or at least the Gracie Mansion case, in which individuals
who aligned themselves. It's not clear that had to do with the war in Iran, or any of these had to do with the war in Iran, for that matter. But you're right; those 2 teenagers were also radicalized by ISIS, according to what they told police.
And so here's the point. So when you talk about the pathways of radicalization and mobilization of violence, there's a whole lot of ways these individuals can do this. There are individuals out there who couldn't pick Iran out on a map, right? But they're anti-Semitic, they're anti-Israeli, and they're being mobilized online to act out in violence.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.